Hi, welcome back to Maths Masters. This is edition number 6, and in this session we are going to be looking at using the bar model. So some of you might never have heard of the bar model before, so I'm going to explain what it is and how it works. Now this is the basic bar model we're going to be looking at here, and this is a single bar model. You can have double bar models that can be used, but we're just going to look at using the single bar model in this session. So, if we begin with concrete objects. So if we had that Molly had 4 apples and Robert had 3 apples, so Molly and Robert, if we wanted to find out how many they had all together, we could add them together. Now, that one-to-one correspondence at the beginning, line them up in a line, physically touch them. It'd be ideal if you could use apples and physical things, but if not, use counters to represent the apples. So, we know that Molly's got 4, and we know that Robert has got 3. So we've got 4 and 3. And what we want to know is how many they've got all together. So we can draw a brace, and we put a question mark there. That is what the bit we want to find out. That's the problem we need to solve. So what we're going to do with these numbers, well, we need to combine them to find out how many there are all together. So we can subitize and start with the first number, which is 4, the bigger number, and then count on 5, 6, 7. Or we can know our number bonds, 4 and 3 go together to make 7. So where the question mark is, we can put a 7. Now, when using the bar model is a pictorial way of looking at the calculation. It won't do the maths for you, it just makes it easier to expose the underlying concepts and makes it easier to understand what calculation you need to perform, what calculation you need to do. So it's really useful when you're doing the bar model to have the abstract calculation next to it. So ideally here, in a space here, I'd have my calculation 4 add 3 is equal to 7. Now, moving on from using the pictorial representation, you can use counters to show it. So we can have Alan had 5 cakes. So Alan's got 5, so I'm just going to put A for Alan, and Rupert, with an R, has 2. How many cakes do they have all together? So we're trying to find out how many all together, that's the bit we're trying to find out. So we can use the counters, we know there's 5 here and 2 more there. So 5, add 2, if we know our number bonds, or start at 5, subitize, add on 2 more, 6, 7 is equal to 7. And we can record our calculation at the side. 5 add 2 is equal to 7. So we are using a discrete model here. Another thing you can do is you can draw it as a bar. So for this calculation, 5 add 2, we could start off with 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we know there's 5 there. So Alan had 5, Rupert had 2. So we can have our 5 and go 6, 7. And these are the 2 that Rupert had. How many have they got all together? So if you're starting off, you might have to count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or start at 5, 6, 7. It makes 7 altogether. And again, we are recording our number sentence, the abstract at the side. Now, that is called a discrete model, where all the boxes, all the objects, the things you're adding together are kept separately. But the next thing you'd move on to is the continuous model. So the continuous, if Alan had 5, and Rupert had 2, that's Rupert, how many have they got all together? Well, now we know there's 5 there, and we can add on 2 more. So 5 add 2 is equal to 7. So we have our number here, 7, that's what we found out. Now when we're using the bar model, the question mark always goes to the place where we don't know, that's the bit we're trying to find out. But also, try and make the bars, if you're using a maths book, you don't use the number of squares because you'll run out of squares. Make them comparative to each other, the numbers. So I know that 2 is smaller than 5. So I've drawn 5. I know that 2 is less than half of 5, so I've drawn it in a smaller way. So you're always building that way of working with the numbers, comparing them to each other in the size of the numbers. So I can do it that way. The other thing is, you can mix up, you can use the discrete, the separate one, and a little stage to go in between those before moving on to the continuous would be to mix them both together. So you could have your 5 that Alan had, and you add on 2 more. So you can do 5 as a continuous, but your 2 that Rupert had can be written, shown discretely. So how many have you got all together? I've got 5, 2 more, 5, 6, 7 is equal to 7, like that. Okay. So what I'd like you to do now is have a go at using the bar model yourself. Now you might want to start off using counters. And if I show the different progression, so the first one is 7 add 2. So you can show how to do that. 7 add 2 is equal to what? What is the question mark? So you can do it by getting counters, lining them up. 4, 5, 6, 7. Add 2 more. So we line them up there so that we can do that one-to-one correspondence. Add 2, and we can work out what we've got. We've got 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, it's 7 here. 7, and we've got 2 here. How many do we have all together? So we can know there's 7, starting from the bigger number, add on 2 more. 7 add 2 is equal to 9. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. The second way is you could use the discrete, where you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, making boxes all the same size. You've got 7. Add on 2 more. 7, you might have to count them all or start with 7, 8 and 9. And again, you're recording the number sentence. 7 add 2 is equal to 9. You might want to use the mixture of the discrete and the continuous. You've got 7. Add on 2 more is equal to 7, 8, 9. So you can have your calculation at the side as well. And then moving to the continuous, completely continuous model. 7 and 2 is equal to 7 and 2 is equal to 9. So have a go at using that to complete these number sentences. So number 1, choose what you want to use. Use concrete objects, use a discrete, use a mixture of continuous and discrete, or use just continuous. So you've got 6 add 3. The second one is 4, add 5 is equal to. And next one, Pete has 6 cakes. Mary has 5. How many do they have in total? Okay, so if Pete has 6, Mary has 5, how many do they have in total? Have a go at doing those ones. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at that. So let's have a look at these as a bar model. So we've got 6 and 3, 4 and 5, and the 6 cakes and 5. So the first one was 6 add 3. So I'm going to jump straight to, well actually I'm going to do the first one using counters. I'm going to have 6 counters, and add on 3 more, so we can say we've got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, add on 3 more. What have we got all together? So we draw our brace. What have we got? 6, add 3, recording the calculation at the side. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. The second one was 4 add 5. Now I'm going to turn that around and I'm going to have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 there. I'm going to add on 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm recording what I'm doing as I go along. What is the problem I'm trying to solve? So I've got 5, add in 4, start at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or I can use my number bonds that I know that 5 and 4 go together to make 9. The final one was Pete had 6 cakes. So I'm going to use the continuous one, 6. Mary has 5, so it's just slightly less than 6. Is 5, so I'm going to draw the box a little bit smaller. So Pete, that's what he's got, and I'm going to use these on here. Mary has got 5. How many have they got in total? So this is what I need to know when I put them together. How many are they going to make? So I can start at 6 and count on to get to 5, or I can use that recombining to make 10, where I can say 6. Add 5, I can break 5 into the number bonds 4 and 1, because I know that 6 and 4 goes together to make 10, and add 1 more on makes 11. So that would look like this. So I've said 6, add 4, add 1 is equal to 11. So I'm using that skill from the previous sessions on recombining, regrouping to make 10, or adding to make 10, to help me with that one. The final one, there are 9 cars. 6 are blue. How many of them are red? So how many of them are red? So what I'm going to do, I've got my 9 cars. So in my bar model, I know that altogether there are going to be 9. 6 of them, and I know that 6 in 9, there's going to be more that are blue. So I'm going to draw that box bigger. So 6 of them are blue. And how many of them are red? So what I need to do is find out what this one is. So I can count on from 6 to get to 9. So I might count on using a number line. I might count on using counters on a tens frame, or I could count on, in my head, I can put 6 in my head, know my number bonds, what goes with 6 to make 9, or I can put that in my head and count on 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, and I know that I've added on 3. So I did 6, add something is equal to 9. So 6 add 3 is equal to 9. So how many of them are red? 3 cars are red. Okay, so in the activity section, in the description, there's an activity challenge for you to do, looking at having a go at using the bar model. Now I know it might be really new for some of you, but just have a go at working with it, because the more you practice using it, it'll be really useful to help you with problem solving in addition, multiplication, division and subtraction, but also using it in fractions and different word problems later on. Okay, thank you.